guests at this hour, but I mean, whatever. I just want to say that I've been thinking more about my lawyer's appearance at uh, the the city court, just to report on the Third Circuit Court of Appeals decision. My lawyer had firsthand knowledge of his process while writing his writ. So it made sense to me that Judge Owsley would like updates directly from my lawyer. Okay. But after my lawyer sent that writ, that the motion for writ of appeal, which pretty much the appeal is to appeal me having to serve an extra 4 days or serve out the four days and then pay I also owe the $411. So those two things, I have 4 more days in jail to look forward to and $411. My lawyer wrote the writ of appeal to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals to stop that. And he had a timeline. He had like 30 days. He sent that back in like what was it, June 23rd, and it was sent. All right, June 23, 2022. It was sent, and that was the end of his end. That's his end of the deal of his firsthand knowledge stops there. Yet, and I don't even know if Judge Owsley and they had a hearing before June 23, May June. Yeah, my lawyer had it sent out on time, quickly, and everything was submitted. But since then, my lawyer has had to report to judge. I had a little orange. My judge had still had my lawyer report to him in person the status of what's going on with the Third Circuit Court of Appeal, and that's costing me $100 every time he has to show up. And he's got another date. I don't know, like January 13th, that my lawyer has to once again report to Judge Owsley's courtroom and tell him what his status is. And what it involves is it's not my lawyer's status. All right, my lawyer has nothing to report on his end. All right, his end, it was completed. All right, he fulfilled his end, and Judge Owsley is demanding that my lawyer report the Third Circuit Court's end of this, which is something that is in uh their purview, is in their control. They have The Third Circuit Court of Appeals has firsthand knowledge of what they're doing. They're directly reporting. Yet, so it comes down to anybody can check that out. And what Judge Owsley's doing is he's hiring my lawyer for free. My lawyer's working for Judge Owsley for free, and I'm paying that service. I'm paying for the service. I'm paying $100 for the service of my lawyer to report to Judge Owsley the status of the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, uh, wherever they're at, which is pretty much there's no reports, because the Third Circuit Court of Appeal reports nothing until their decision. They don't let you know that, oh, we've they let you know they got the paperwork, but they don't let you know that anything after that. You don't know if they've decided on the lawyers who are going to hear the case. You don't know how far along they are in reading. You don't know intend when do they intend to schedule their hearing on the matter. You don't know anything, and it's all with them. It's all the firsthand experience with them. So seem to be losing my voice. So I'm paying $100 uh, so that my lawyer can service Judge Owsley on these reports. And it involves my lawyer, what, either calling the Third Circuit Court of Appeals or getting information from the website, typing in my case number. And actually, I have to admit, I don't know my case number with this. Uh, I I I think I have one, so I need to ask and find out and see if I can look up this case number myself, because that'll give me a better idea of what's going on. Because I mean, this sounds to me like a matter of all's. Yeah, he's servicing Judge Owsley. My lawyer, I'm paying my lawyer $100 to service Judge Owsley. All right, all right. Oh, because it's there's nothing to in the legal parameters at this point to argue. That's what a court officer does, is make arguments. But instead, now he's just making reports. He's Judge Owsley's servant. He's Judge Owsley's fool who checks either the website or calls the Third Circuit Court of Appeal and asks them what's going on. that's that's all he can do. Is just ask them what's going on, and then what information he gathers from the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. That Judge Owsley is demanding that my lawyer present that information to him. All right, and I mean, this is something that anybody can do. Why should I pay my lawyer to be reporting to Judge Owsley? That's $100. Maybe a local could do that. Why does my lawyer need to report this? Why? And he's coming out of Shreveport, so he's drives an hour to Natchitoches and then an hour back. That cost me $100. Maybe a local could report, because there's no legal. This is a report. There, all you have to do is check with the websites or call the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, tell them my case number, ask them what the status is. Okay, so you could hire that out to somebody else. I could contract that service out to somebody else. My lawyer shouldn't have to take it upon him. He could send his secretary, all right, just to report what the Third Circuit Court is doing. All right. It's not something that the officer of the court needs to waste his time on. But Judge Owsley, the city judge, he's got a limited jurisdiction. He's got a limited perspective on things. All right. Just his perspective on things is limited in so many ways. And it's I don't know how people decided that he shouldn't have been the district court judge when he ran for that position years before becoming the city judge. They really dodged the bullets there. But this is a service that is to be provided to Judge Owsley at my expense, and my lawyer's complaining about it. But I mean, let's strategize this. All right, what do we have for some ideas here? Let's strategize. Does my lawyer need to go himself just to report to Judge Owsley this? This is just a report matter. This is not a preparation for a trial. Um, this is not any legal back and forth. All this is a report, and it shouldn't require the officer of the court directly to have to report to Judge Owsley on this. I mean, what it comes down to basically is this is something that you could send anybody to his court to make a report on, and and go on the website. You bring your computer, go on the website, or bring your phone, and in this hearing where the prosecutor has to be present too for some reason, call the Third Circuit Court of Appeals, put them on speakerphone, or if it's on the website, show the websites and see the report. Everybody, the judge, my lawyer or representative, the prosecutor, everybody can listen in on this call to the Third Circuit Court of Appeals to ask them the status of my case, of my appeal, or check the website, and everybody can gather around the computer and look at what the status is on January 13th for this next $100 status report. I mean, I don't know if people get this, but it really is ridiculous. I'm a little slow with the thinking, trying to wrap my head around what's going on. But the third time's the charm. It's like looking at this third meeting now. I paid what, $200 for the past two meetings, and looking at another one that costs another $100. And I question uh, where's the legal matter of this? Where's the firsthand knowledge of this? The Judge Owsley argues that there's ex parte um it was an ex parte issue on the second meeting. That's why my officer of the court representative had to show up at his city court, because since the prosecutor doesn't respond, Clyde Benjamin, or the whole office, they named all seven of the people who work in this prosecutor's office, all seven of them. Nobody out of all of them, nobody responded. Nobody even acknowledged that the motion to say not show up at this court hearing, the motion to just advise you that there's no updates, whatever. There was even not even an acknowledgement that the prosecutors, I don't know who they acknowledge these days. I mean, in that city, they've shut down all forms of communication. I mean, I've been uh like, the city tried to stop me from making public information requests. They attempted that, and well, Judge Owsley said that's going a little, that's pushing the constitutional issues a little too much, and he denied that. He actually, Judge Owsley actually has some sense of what our constitutional rights are, some sense. Um, but I mean, the most grievous ones that he can't overstep. He's definitely pushed a lot of other issues. But it's just a little angry, and I'm also testing out this multiple person uh, feature on YouTube. It doesn't look like uh, I reached out to anybody. I actually Twittered the link, and I wanted to check it later myself for this invite. Which I still have a waiting for guest message. So all right, okay, as two justice systems. this this uh this next meeting, January 13th, this report that my lawyer has to make is, I'm not looking forward to having to pay another $100 for. All right. And yet dragging things out is fine, as long as the process and the things that go on with it make sense. It made sense when my lawyer was writing his writ, but once he sent everything, he no longer has firsthand knowledge of the process. He knew his process. He knew, as he was writing it, he knew when he was going to submit it. But once after he submitted it, it's out of his hands. Now he's just doing secondhand reporting to Judge Owsley. And the firsthand reporting is now coming from the Third Circuit Court of Appeals. So where's the ex parte, and where's the ex parte in secondhand information? All right, reporting secondhand information to Judge Owsley is ex parte if the prosecutor doesn't respond. And the prosecutor didn't respond because they didn't even know what to say. All right. And Judge Owsley is just trying to rationalize whatever makes sense to him in his clouded mind. That's why he's only a city judge, because he's very confused. You need to baby step this guy through every step of the process. And this is probably unfamiliar to him, having an appeal on the city court level. over this, and this is a big issue. This is a constitutional issue. But he's confused, all right, and he needs to be baby walked. And my lawyer isn't baby walking. See, I had what the situation is this city judge is confused, and my lawyer thinks that he should know it. He should know what's going on. He shouldn't have to be. You shouldn't have to explain to the judge what's going on. So you got kind of a disconnect in the communication link there. All right, you have the judge who's confused and a lawyer who just thinks that the judge should know. All right, and shouldn't have to explain anything to him. He just assumes, well, if the judge made the decision, the judge knows best. You gotta baby what you gotta explain everything to them. You gotta help the judge understand how things are working, and this is probably new to the judge. So these meetings, I mean, if anything, at the very least, that my lawyer maybe could write a motion requesting that um his secretary go in his place, because this is just a report that's to be made. There's no legal arguments. This is a report where you don't have to make any, you don't, he doesn't have to look at any case law to argue with. All right. This is just a report. There's no case law involved with this. There's no legal arguments to make with this. It's just a report. And Judge Owsley's turned um, my lawyer into more of the court jester who gives a little song and dance right in front of him for a little bit to amuse him. That's all this has come down to. Oh, there's nothing to report. Well then, why don't you do a little dance for me, lawyer? It's a lawyers club. Okay. They don't lawyers are all working together very closely, right? They don't this is all a close, a knit organization, and they're doing this just to make money. That's it, right? That's why this is going on. Well, uh, it's hard for me to believe that, but I mean, there's people that have that thought process. So, all right, I was just testing out this thing and whatever, doing the vertical. Oh, it does change. Oh, it told me to rotate. Well, whatever. Just testing this out, so I'm gonna stop this now.